I'm Lady in Orange. My name is Ashley Branch. I'm in the class of 2014. I'm a psychology and philosophy major.
Ever since I knew there was someone called a colored girl, an evil woman, a bitch, or a nag, I've been trying not to be that and leave bitterness in somebody else's cup.
I was motivated because I'd seen the play in my past. It was probably one of the biggest, like my first production that I had been to when I was younger, and I just remember it brought up a lot of questions about womanhood and what it meant to be black and what it meant to be black in the world, and it was something that kind of, I would say, really influenced my perspective of how I see the world, and I just thought it was very important to try out for it. So I have a great cast. I think the directors have kind of a hard time keeping us focused because we're just joking around all the time. We have all these inside jokes now whenever I see any of the girls, and it's funny because there are quite a few seniors in the play who I don't get to interact with on a normal basis, but it's good that we have these experiences all of our own, so we bring all of these senior all the senior wisdom to the table, but it's different because we all have different lives at BC. But it's girls that I see all the time, and I'm I literally probably would have gone the entire 4 years having never spoken to you, and I'm really glad that the play brought us together because now I'm leaving BC with another friend that I wouldn't have made, so it's been awesome. I've kind of been just taking it day by day because this is one of the first times that I've done any acting, period, especially theater. It's definitely been challenging because I've had to deal with actually creating a backstory for this woman who, and it's interesting because my character transitions between one person. I have a lot of different characters that I have to play, but they all are central to this woman. So it's been just building, I have to build separate backstories for each monologue but then an overall story for this woman. So that's been more of what I've been working on in the actual play itself, just making sure that the character actually has a person. Parallels, I wouldn't say that there's anything that parallels my life, but one thing that I actually have spoken with Pam and Dr. Houchin about this is that it has kind of forced me, and Robbie has kind of forced me to confront different emotions that I don't usually do. I just choose not to deal with them, and it brings out those emotions. And so the first couple of times we ran through my monologues, I was kind of struggling to deal with it because I was kind of I don't know how to do this because I don't know how to feel that emotion. So it's been good for me in terms of just having having me open myself up to those emotions again, because it's been a while since I've dealt with them.
Screaming in the street full of lunatic or whispering, slut, bitch, nigga, get out of here with all of that.
In today's society, I want to say it's definitely a struggle, not only just being a black woman in society, but being a black woman in society in a predominantly white school is something that I find myself, it's not difficult to deal with, but it's different because I grew up in Atlanta, where, first of all, I feel the divide is definitely there, but it's not something that you're so confronted with in your day-to-day life, and it's something that I definitely had to learn to deal with when I came to BC. And then just my blackness in terms of that, I didn't realize that my being African American and my lineage was something that was so different, because again, in Atlanta, if you're black, you're just black. There is no oh, I'm Jamaican, oh, I'm from Ghana, if you're black. And that was another thing that I personally have had to deal with a lot, just trying to figure out what my blackness meant in the world.
Because I had to convince myself colored girls had no right to sorrow.
I don't know if there's any set definition of being a black woman in today's society, but I will say that I definitely, having been here and having been on my own and having worked with the play and just everything that I've done with my coursework and stuff, I think that I've definitely gained a better understanding of how the rest of the world views me, because I wasn't brought up to believe that because I was black and because I was a woman made me any less than, or it made me anything that I should have not been proud of. But then coming here and learning that the rest of the world views you through this gaze that's not necessarily, first of all, because I'm black, automatically puts me on a level that people view me as lesser than, that I never viewed myself. And then my being a woman also put me in this very limited scope where it's okay, you want to break out of this bubble, okay, that's great for you, good for you, I'm gonna give you a pat on the back, but then just know there's only so far you can go, and just learning to solidify the fact within myself that that's not something I'm gonna accept, because that's not how I was raised, and I don't want that to be something that I give to my children by my actions, so, or my future children by my actions. So yeah, I think that there's no one definition, but there is definitely things that I'm learning.
Especially when I can make the music loud enough so there is no me but dance. And when I can dance like that, there's nothing can hurt me, but I get tired and I have to come off of the floor.
Robbie's been an amazing just source of like information the entire time we've been doing this, but we sat down one day and we just, for like an hour and a half, I think, to 2 hours, just sat around and talked about everything from like when we first realized we were black, like to just like black women's hair issues, like everything, just a wide range of like seeing other women or like hearing other stories from other women, and just kind of identifying with different experiences, and saying like, oh yeah, like my mom, she say that all the time, or yeah, like I remember like the first time like someone pulled a hot comb through my head, like stuff, like just a range of things. Like it's been awesome, and I think that was one of my most memorable experiences. And then my roommate Johanna, who is a choreographer, she had us do these like, I don't even know what you call it, but basically like we had to like stand in a circle and one person would tell a story and the other person had to like dance it out, and it was the like most bizarre thing. And there are a lot of bizarre things that happened during this whole process, so that was the most bizarre thing I think we've had to do, but it was just hilarious, and it was good to just like blow off some steam and kind of have like an informal way, but also like to work in parts of the character into what you were doing, so that was cool. It's kind of been like the thing that I've been doing most. It's taken all my attention, which is hard because I'm also involved in a lot of things on campus, so it's just been interesting to give my attention to something else the whole time. I'm gonna be sad for multiple reasons. I'll be sad because it's early, or it's late March when the play will be running, and I know that I may or may not have this like great interaction with these girls. I hope to continue to have these interactions with these girls, but it may or may not happen. And then also my being a senior, like, you know, time is really winding. We just had our 100 days dance the other day, so time is really winding down for me, and it's making me reflect a lot on like my experience here and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be like really happy about it because I won't have to spend hours in rehearsal anymore, but I'm gonna be really sad at the same time, and I'm hoping that I can continue to have these relationships with these girls after everything's done.